it's been over 9 months since I last did a top 10 guns video. And that's particularly insane because I used to do them every single month when a new season dropped since the global release of COD. I've been slacking. But I'm back! And the 10th spot goes to none other than the PKM. Some of you smart cookies might have guessed that this is simply on the list because it has an insane amount of damage, no recoil, and is great for camping. That's particularly good for me because my movement's been kind of lackluster. Well, up until last season when I made a full comeback, but it was tough getting there. And this gun helped me do just that. In fact, the only negative to it is how slow it is. Whether it's the reload, the pulling out time, which I never do, or even the ADS. But something you should do quickly is download Call of Duty Mobile as they sponsor today's video. Check it out in the description down below. Number 9 is a far faster paced gun in the assault rifle category. It's the Type 19. I personally love this thing, particularly when I have a mythic on it. This thing is kind of like what the AK-117 was back in 2019, where it was just kind of great at everything. The only difference is back then, if you were great at everything, you were the best gun. Whereas nowadays, there are so many different niche ways to play Call of Duty Mobile, especially with skill-based matchmaking going on and the different variety of maps that you get to play, that being a jack of all trades means that you're a master of none. Which is a complete opposite to the CX-9, which is number 8. This thing is a master of one, and that is close range. You can run this with a big mag, which is amazing in its own right, or you can be super accurate and run it with that burst mag. Now let me be honest, 90% of the people that are going to watch this video are never going to want to use that burst mag. You can get literally one kill before having to reload, so if you get caught out in the open reloading, you're gonna die. However, for those greasy finger players, those guys that stay up until 5 a.m. playing even after their friends hop off the game, the solo grinders, the accuracy leaders, they're gonna want to use this loadout. But for the casuals, use this one. I'm quite conflicted with number 7 because it's the DRH, and the last time I made one of these lists, the DRH was actually number 1 because it got a significant buff back then, but since that, everything else has seemingly got way more buffed. Look, it's a great assault rifle. I have a load of fond memories with it. The iron sight's good, reload time's good, everything is great about this gun, to be honest. Similar to the Type 19, it's just a jack of all trades, but like I said, master of none. Therefore, it being at number 7 kind of makes it a bum, but when you compare it to how many guns are actually in the game, it's still really high up there. Not as high as number 6, which is actually 2 different weapons. The Odin, which actually just got nerfed significantly, or it would be way higher on this list, and the Type 63, which is kind of like the uglier version of the SKS, but performs better than it at pretty much every single scenario. So we'll throw in the SKS as the honorable mention right beside them. These guns are all great, medium to longer ranges. The only problem is there are so many other guns that can kill you 2-tap to the head nowadays, or in some cases, if you're kind of weak, 2-tap to the body, that it kind of renders them almost useless compared to more faster firing weapons in multiplayer. But they're still great overall. However, number 5 is the Tundra, and I like it more. It's just so good, bro. And see when you get the freaking Aurora camo on that bad boy, oh my god, does it look good. In my opinion, it's the best sniper in the game. Sure, you can put the SVD in there, which is an honorable mention alongside of the Tundra, but it just doesn't have the flair, the pizzazz, the finesse like the Tundra does. Speaking of having absolutely no finesse, the MG42's up next. It got nerfed, it's still insane. It was an ADS time nerf. When you try to ADS with this thing super fast, you're literally holding angles with it, just like you would do with the PKM. And to be honest, it's only like a 30 millisecond ADS speed nerf on something that already takes over 300 milliseconds to ADS in the first place. Mods, whoever tries to say the MG42 isn't good anymore, ban them. I love it. And the Mythic is great, but the HVK is better at number 3. Listen, I can go on and on for days about how great this gun is, but to be honest, I'm just gonna tell you the one thing that sucks about it so that you realize there's really no negatives when it comes to using it. And that is the mag size. So if you don't like it, I'm sorry, it's just a skill issue. Kinda like what Can has. Here are the last of the honorable mentions of different weapons that I think are pretty decent, like the QXR and a couple of others. I know the QXR's on the list, it's weird, but trust me, if you try it out, it'll do good. That being said, let's get to the top 2. My second place pick is of course the BP50. Previously, the best gun for like 5 months straight. It has a banging iron sight for both the Mythic and the regular variant. And similar to the HVK, I'd rather just tell you the negatives of using this instead of the positives so that you realize how good it is. Here's the entire list of negatives when it comes to the BP50. That's right, there is none. So if you haven't already tried to use it, well, I feel sorry for you because it's not in its prime anymore, but it's still really good. So you should definitely try it out. However, lastly, we need to talk about the best gun in the game. It's an SMG. It reloads sausages, bananas, and roses. The first two being my favorite. As one of the best mythic iron sights ever released, and not a bad normal iron sight. It's of course the USS. Unbelievably good. When going into a conflict, it creates carnage and chaos. You should use it. That being said, subscribe.